Hey guys, Joe Burnett with Big West Marketing. My goal is to empower you guys to take your business to the next level. And in this specific video, what I want to do is share a story with you about a client and his SEO experience, how he kind of tricked Google and it worked for a while, but then as soon as it caught up with him, it killed his rankings, and then what we did to recover those rankings as quickly as possible. So let's get started with that right now. Okay, so let me set the stage for what's going on with this specific service business. So I'm not going to give you his exact business name and city and all that for privacy reasons, but he was in a suburb in the Bay Area, a very prominent, wealthy suburb, decent sized population, so a very competitive area. And what he did is he went out and got for his address, because you have to have an address to have a Google My Business location. If you watched any of my videos, I talk about having a good address versus a bad address. I've got a PDF you can download that'll tell you what kind of address you should actually use, which ones are risky, which ones are solid, which ones are the best, all that. But what he did is he used a risky address, and he was fully aware of the risk. Okay, so what he did is he went and got a UPS mailbox. So it appeared as an address, like a commercial address with a unit number or a suite number. And a lot of people do this, and a lot of people are getting away with it still, but Google is on the prowl, and once they find out that you're doing this, they're going to slap you. And let me tell you what happened. So basically, July 2016 until August 2017, this business was ranking in the 3-pack, getting lots of calls, having lots of success, and everything was happy. Now, but like I said, he was using a UPS address, okay? August 2017, all of a sudden, he didn't only drop, but he disappeared completely off the maps. Like, Google wouldn't even if you scrolled down and got to, went to the different pages, couldn't find him anywhere on Google Maps or in the Google My Business, Google 3-pack, whatever you want to call it. Okay, he was gone completely. All right. So what we did immediately was we notified him and said, we need to get a legitimate address that Google approves. Google does not approve UPS mailboxes, PO boxes, mailbox, etc. All of these like mailbox stores, they don't approve those as addresses because so many people have used those to cheat the system. Okay, and so Google's, like I said, they're on the prowl. They're looking for businesses that are doing this, and they are penalizing them by taking them out of the maps. Okay, so that's what happened. So he was there for 13 months, ranking, everything's great. Google finds out that it's a UPS address. Takes them completely out of the maps. What we did immediately is we got a hold of the individual and we said we need a residential or a commercial address, legitimate, home or business address. He was able to get a residential address so that a postcard could be mailed out, do the whole Google verification thing. He did that. And then we immediately went over to and did 3 things. Number 1, we changed it in the Facebook business page to match the correct address. We went over to Yelp, which is one of the top 3 directories that you need to change immediately. So we did Facebook, Yelp, and then on his website, we changed what's called the schema code. Every website should have schema code. It's a special code that talks about your business name, address, phone number, and Google uses that to match up with your Google My Business page and just makes everything kind of sync up and make everything legitimate in the eyes of Google. So we did those 3 things first, like day 1, as soon as we got that new address and got it verified. And of course, since it was a residential address, we did set it as hidden so that it only shows the city and state, not the full address, since it was residential. Google wants you to do that with residential. If it was a legitimate commercial address, not UPS, but a legitimate commercial address, we would have left it unhidden. And that's just kind of how Google requires you to do it. Commercial, unhidden, residential, hidden. It's a liability thing for Google. All right. So that's what we did right off, like day 1. We got that set up. And then what we did over the next month is we went out and this process is still actually ongoing, is we changed 60 plus directories online on the internet as a whole. And if you see my other businesses about directories, I got a whole list that I give you guys, all the big important ones that Google looks at. And it's important to know this so that you understand that Google doesn't just look at what you change on the Google My Business page. That's actually the smallest part of it. Okay, the biggest part is changing it internet wide. And that's why SEO ends up being so much work, is because you got to change things internet wide, not just on your Google My Business page or on your website. Okay, that's just step one. All right. So, and I think most people know that, but I just wanted to make sure that was clear. And so, what happened was, so August 2017, he disappeared. We immediately got an address, immediately got things fixed up, changed over to on stuff that we had control over immediately, and then started changing stuff internet wide. October 17th, 2017, so a couple months later, he popped back up into the 3-pack. 2 months. He was able to get back up into the 3-pack, not only into the maps, but actually high enough to rank and get phone calls, just like he did the prior year. So, but think about how much money he lost, how much revenue he lost by being down for 2 months. Okay, so the kind of the point of this video is to explain. Number one, you want to have a legitimate address that is Google approved. Okay, and number two, you want to make sure that if you're getting away with something and kind of tricking Google and getting away with something and it's fine, if you drop, you want to get on top of it immediately. The way that I kind of see it, and the way that Wendy, who's been doing all the work on it here in the office, is basically we think that Google, discovered that there was an issue, and they gave our client a chance, okay, like a chance to make things right. And since he got on top of it so fast, it worked in his benefit in, like I said, 2 months. I mean, 2 months is actually really good. That's quick to recover from a Google penalty. All right, the fastest I've ever seen, 2 months like that. Okay, so that being said, let's also talk about there's other factors involved. Okay, it wasn't just switching the address and saying, "Hey Google, I made a mistake. I'm fixing it." It wasn't just that. You got to understand that he has a lot of other things going for him. Okay, he's got a website that's been in Google's index for 2 years with all the correct stuff. Okay, a website that's not keyword stuffing and it's not playing all kinds of games. He's got legitimate reviews on his Google page, not spammy fake reviews or 0 reviews. He's actually got some stuff going on with his Google page and history to prove that he's a real business and that he does things in a legit way. And so I just wanted to emphasize that. He also has very good pictures that he took of his van in his city, so that Google can tag that photo as being taken inside his city, and it's got a logo on his van. It just shows Google that this is the real deal. He did all the right stuff. The only thing that was wrong was the address. Okay, so just because you change your address doesn't mean you're going to pop back up in 2 weeks, or that address is the only factor. It's definitely the top factor. But he also had all of his other ducks in a row. Like, he was doing everything else legitimate. He wasn't playing all kinds of games, having a bunch of separate websites and different Google pages and trying to trick Google into thinking that he was something he wasn't. And there's lots of ways to do that. And there's lots of games that are played by service businesses and SEO companies. We don't do that kind of stuff. But if he had done all that kind of stuff, then chances are 2 months would have turned into 6 months, maybe a year, before Google released that penalty and let him rank again. So I just kind of wanted to, talk to you guys about this. And even though you're getting away with something right now, be aware that it could catch up to you at any time. And when it does, what actions you need to take. Okay. So, and I also want to quote something. I put a video on Facebook that is a 10-minute video produced by Google on how to choose an SEO company. And I just wanted to quote something real quick. The lady in that video is saying, SEO potential is only as high as the quality of your business or website. Successful SEO puts your best foot forward. Real SEO does not trick Google any longer. In the past, you could do all kinds of Google tricks to get ranked high. those days are pretty much over for the most part. Like I said, people are still getting away with stuff, but the smarter Google gets, the less chance you have of ranking by doing like tricky little stuff that just lasts for a while. If you want to establish your business with Google for the long term, then I highly recommend, if you're doing your own SEO, you do real SEO. Okay, you make your business prominent, and you make sure that everything is relevant, and make sure everything is above board, and make sure if you're hiring an SEO company that they do that as well. Okay, it may take longer to rank that way, but it's going to end up benefiting you in the long run. Now, if you're just in the business for a year, you want to get in, get out, play games, do tricks. Don't call us. But if you are in it for the long run, make sure you're working with a reputable company that does things according to guidelines and is always on top of things like this stuff I discussed today. All right, and I want to show you real quick how we figured out that this was how you can figure out if it's a UPS address or if it's a legitimate address. People think it's really easy to trick Google with these addresses, and I'm going to show you how easy it is for me to figure it out. So let's see, the UPS address for here in Missoula, Montana, where I'm located. So if I'm going over to Google and I paste in, this address, let's pretend that a carpet cleaner or some kind of service business is using this address, trying to trick Google into thinking they got a commercial address and for rankings. When I search for this in Google, look what comes up. Second one down, UPS store, and then it gives the address, and that's through MapQuest. Okay, what else we got here? We scroll down, UPS store through superpages.com. Yelp, UPS store. Okay, so there's 3 listings on the front page that tell me that this is a UPS store. This is not a service business. This is not a plumber. It's not a roofer. It's not a carpet cleaning business. It's not a restoration business. It's a UPS store. If I can figure it out in 2 seconds like I just did right there, Google can figure it out. Okay, so that's why when you go to trick Google, you're eventually going to get busted, because Google, if I can figure this out, Google and their billions of dollars can figure it out way easier than me. And the smarter they get, the smarter their software gets, the easier it is going to become. All right, so I just wanted to kind of share with you guys that story and what you can do to make this work. And of course, I also, if you don't have my book talks about all of this kind of stuff. It lists all of the directories you need to be in. It gives you all of the inside information, details on all of this stuff. I skimmed over a lot of stuff. Everything I talked about is in this book. So if you want to get it, I'll put a link at the end of this video, or just go to servicebusinessmoneymachine.com, or give us a call. We can ship your coffee. It's free. I just ask you pay shipping and handling, and then let me know what you think. Okay, so like I said, this book is free. It'll give you, it's 150 pages of all of this kind of stuff. So check that out. Thank you for watching. Happy Friday, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thanks.